Hey everyone, welcome to the Happy Flosser podcast. My name is Billy Lunt. I am your host, and I'm here to talk to you about all things dental hygiene to support you on your journey through the dental hygiene program. It's really great to have you. And I've been thinking, I've been recording for about 4 years on this podcast, and it's a lot of work behind the scenes. And so I've started thinking about, I've never shared with my audience the reason why I do this. And so I think it's really important that I share that with you because why do people do the things that they do? And I will say one of the most challenging things I ever did, and I know I've shared this on previous episodes, is become a dental hygienist. And the reason behind that is because of the journey. And if you've had me as a student, you know that when you come to freshman orientation, I talk to you about how the journey towards reaching your dreams and achieving your goals is never a straight line. There's lots of twists and turns that happen along the way. And those are the things that truly make the journey worthwhile. They help create the person that you become as a method of reaching that goal. So one of the things I've figured out along the way is that it's not really about the goal that you set for yourself, but who you become on that journey to achieving that goal. And so I say dream big, right? Make really big goals because those goals will help stretch you into the person that you were intended to be. So for my own journey, I'll tell you, I thought in my own head I was just going to graduate high school, go through college, maybe become a dentist along the way and help lots of people. And also part of that whole thing was maybe be an artist on the side and somehow educate people. But when we're younger, we have all these broad ideas, nothing extremely specific. But I knew that that was about what I wanted to do. But right before I started my second year of college, and I had transferred to the University of New Hampshire, right before I started my second year of college, my aunt suddenly passed away, and she had 7 little kids who all ended up coming to live with my family. And I didn't really think that had a huge impact on me until I reflected back. I was like, well, I'm going back to school in a few weeks. I'll help things out until I get there. And then I went back to school, and I was about, 7 or 8 weeks into the fall semester. And my grandmother, who had lived with me my whole life, passed away. And then my very best friend we had a falling out. And so I had lost that one really important support person. And I really just didn't know what to do. And so I withdrew from school. And it was probably one of the most challenging things I ever did. The reason why I'm sharing this is because I want you to know as students that it's not really about the things that happen to you because things are going to happen to you. It's about what you do as a result of those things. So I had to really swallow my failure and figure out that that was all part of my growth story. And I spent the next 9 or 10 months kind of pulling myself back together and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I enrolled in school at NHCI in New Hampshire, and I was so afraid of failure at that point that I just took Anatomy and Physiology 1. I was afraid I was not ready to go back to college. And when I was about halfway through the semester, the department chair reached out to me and she said, "These are the courses I want you to take next semester so that you can come into the dental hygiene program next fall." And I was really afraid. But what was really cool about it when I think back, Carolyn Hartnett, she believed in me. when I maybe had lost my way and didn't believe in myself. And so I took on that challenge of taking those additional courses so that I was ready to enroll the following fall and get my instruments and get my scrubs and do dental hygiene school to the best of my ability. And it was a tough task. It was a really tough task, that whole process of going from extreme failure, withdrawing from school, taking 9 months off, and then going all the way through dental hygiene school. It was challenging. And it was mostly challenging in my own head more than the rigors or anything else. But something happened to me while I was in dental hygiene school that really solidified what I'm doing now. When I was at the end of my freshman year, there were 28 of us in the program. And we all made it through the first semester. And it was tough. In the spring semester, and we had a couple of girls that were doing this for the second time this freshman year. And then at the end of the spring semester, we lost 7 students from our program because they were either unsuccessful in Clinic 2 or they were unsuccessful in one of their didactic courses. I think it was Oral Anatomy 2 that was extremely challenging for them. And it just happened to be that we were all at school that day when we got our grades. And so, and I didn't know this till now. When I saw the challenge of each one of those girls realize that they had to clean out their locker and go home and that they were done, and they were in that position that I was when I withdrew from school prior year. Something changed inside me. I was like, could I have helped these girls with Oral Anatomy too? What could I have done to change this outcome? How could I have made a difference for them? And so my senior year, I ended up tutoring some of the freshman students through Oral Anatomy, which ironically is my favorite course that I teach now at NHTI. And it brought me so much joy to tutor the freshman students. And I was like, you can do this. And I figured out through that process of tutoring that most of the challenges that the students had were their own beliefs, problems that they had in their own head, of their own worthiness almost. And I found that to be so compelling, because it's not about, you got to put in the hard work, but if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? So when I graduated, I told my mom I was going to work in the field for 20 years, get really good at being a hygienist, really understanding the industry, and then I was going to come back and be the best teacher that I could be. And I've done that, right? So I've shared the story that my mom was like, okay, get a job first, and then you can figure it out later. And I set that goal for myself, and I did go back to NHTI, and it just happened to be 20 years and 3 days later. So be careful what you manifest in the universe. But what I have discovered is that it's really where I'm supposed to be. It's helping me recognize that I can have an impact on students, and that if they can believe in themselves and see themselves the way that I see them as a faculty member, they can do things. They can do hard things. And so when I reflect on all of the hard work of my podcast and creating study sheets and having a mentorship class, it's all about the process and believing in yourself and developing your own cheerleading squad in your head of what you're capable of. And I say that to students when they're in my office and they're recognizing that the journey to becoming a hygienist is so much more than learning what's in the books. It's learning what's in you. It's learning what's in yourself. And that is what brings me joy. That is what makes me continue to record tutor style episodes for you guys. I mean, Oh my gosh, sometimes I record an episode and I'm like, who's listening and who needs to hear this? I don't always have the answer to that, but I just keep hitting the record button, hoping that even if something I say gives you those 2 more points on that test that you needed to pass the class, that you get to put the letters RDH after your name as a result of listening to something that I took the time with love to create, then it's all worth it to me. And I know this is kind of like an odd episode for me, just like speaking from the heart, but it all comes back to my own journey. And when I think, I'm always saying, what do the students need? And if it's not out there, I'm going to make it for them. And I try to be a teacher in a way that I would want when I was a student. When I was a dental hygiene student, I didn't necessarily feel supported from some of the faculty. I know that they put a lot of time and effort and care into what they provided for me, but there was definitely a space between what they provided and what I needed. And I will say, upon reflection, that the department head, Carolyn, she really took the extra time to have those conversations, to maybe bring out of me what I needed in that moment when I was a kid. And if I can do that for students, then this time spent talking into the mic is worth it to me. This is a profession that I truly care about. I will stick my neck out and say the hard things to the industry leaders, to the stakeholders, knowing that what I see when I'm watching a student learn how to do instrumentation and put the time in to really all the hard work to become a hygienist, I have to pave the way or support you and teach you to pave the way, because our profession needs to expand and grow if we are truly going to serve the population in a preventive way. And I just feel like we've only scratched the surface on what we're capable of. And I know I've talked many times, if you've listened to enough episodes, I do kind of sprinkle some of my own beliefs into each episode. But man, this is a time where our profession is still really young, and it needs to be well defined, and we need a lot of people that are brave enough to get out there and advocate and help create policy and be involved in your organization. And if I can just be that voice for you as students, to believe in yourself, to know that you are capable, and that if you do the hard work, right? So one of my quotes is, hard work pays over talent every time. It wins. Hard work always wins. It might take a while to catch up with the natural talent, but at the end of the day, if you have the hard work and you've invested the time, you will win every time. I hope that sharing my journey inspires you, lets you know that you are capable, you can do hard things, and that if your journey isn't perfectly straight, it's okay. It's your story, and we all have one. If there's anything that you need that I haven't provided you to support you through your learning journey, please reach out to me. happyflosser@gmail.com, and you can always follow me on Instagram @thehappyflosser. You can reach out to me anytime. I'd be happy to support you in your learning journey. And I know that you can be your very best in the classroom and in the operatory. Take care, guys.